Okay.
USI head coach Matt Santoro, coach, starting year number 2 as part of the OVC with your USI team, your 16th season there. Just what are your general thoughts about your team heading into 2024?
I'm looking forward to the season. I feel good about our team. We had a lot of turnover, and I think that was to be expected. We knew not only the kind of the class size we had with each class, but in this transition period, we kind of planned for it, expected some bigger turnover than normal. So we have a young team. We have a lot of new guys on the roster, but the energy has been great. The personalities are great. So we'll just see how quickly we can blend. But we're looking forward to seeing what the group can do.
You mentioned that transition in the roster there, but just in general, when you're putting a roster together, how do you go about that and planning for people to leave and looking for incomers and transfers against freshmen? Like, how does that all come together for your program?
Well, in an ideal world, you want to have some balance with the classes. I think that, I don't think for us, we want to make that a priority over, having people, the characters and the players that fit our program, but having some balance is nice. Obviously with COVID, which is starting to, we're starting to move away from that a little bit, but it has been a little bit different lately, with guys having extra years and whatever else. But I think for us, really, it's more than anything, it's just about finding the right people. Obviously, there's a soccer perspective of, what do you need positionally and things like that. But it's just finding the right people on and off the field to fit your program and kind of trusting that the numbers and the class breakdown and that kind of stuff just will work out.
Before I talk more about this year, I wanted to ask about last year, the first year of OVC men's soccer. So obviously some of the teams you're already familiar with from the year before, but you add in Liberty, some of the Texas schools. What did you learn about what the OVC will be in men's soccer last year?
Well, obviously we were excited that there was an OVC men's soccer. We thought that it was great to have a league, and kind of be with all the other USI teams in the OVC. So we were excited about that. I think it's going to be a really good league. I think I don't think last year a lot of people knew exactly what to expect. Some of the schools didn't know each other, and even if we did know each other a little bit, it's different when you become a league, when you become a conference, right? So it was a little bit of a learning experience for everybody. On top of that, we were we're in that transition. We had some issues with injuries and kind of getting guys out there. So it was a tough year for us, as a program, but we're excited about the OVC. We believe it's a good league. We believe it's a better league than probably people on the outside think it is. And I think that everyone will see that. I think there's a lot of quality teams and coaches, and it'll just keep getting better every year.
I'm curious about rivalries. So, you had your D2 rivals and now you've come up. Now you're in a new league again. How does that, I know how they just sort of happen, but like, what are you all looking forward to start making some rivalries with these other 7 teams and, just other teams that maybe on your schedule, teams in your same city, things like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, definitely. And when we were a Division II school, so much of the schedule was set. We had less autonomy on who we schedule. So there can be some non-conference rivalries, but I am looking forward to the OVC rivalries. I think there's nothing like, those kind of relationships that you get in the league. One thing people always say about rivalries is both teams have to win, So I think, last year, obviously, everyone knows where we were. We're at the bottom. We just had a conference win. So I think there's some teams that we can become rivals with, but we have to show them that we can beat them, and we have to kind of get in there and kind of create that. And we're optimistic that we will, and we're looking forward to seeing, some of the rivalries in our league, not only that we're involved in, but some of the others as well.
If somebody just came to your first home match this year, what are they seeing different on the field that maybe they didn't see last year?
Well, probably 8 to 10 new faces for one thing. But definitely, I think we're getting toward being what we want to be as a team. I think that last year was a little bit hard for us to capture that, but we want to be organized and disciplined and defend well and have mobility, get guys forward, be a little free flowing. We didn't average, I think we averaged about 6 shots a game. We didn't have a lot of the ball. So I think we want to be a little more entertaining, a little bit more in attack. And, I think we're just going to be closer to the level we need to be as a Division I program, as an OVC, men's soccer program to compete for things.
On your roster, Jason Fry was your player to watch amongst all the OVC players. Maybe something about him or some other players that fans are really going to see some things out of this year.
Yeah, he's an exciting player. He's an attacking player. He's a JUCO transfer, so he has a little bit of experience and wisdom, from already kind of being at the college level. Garland Hall is a senior midfielder for us who has just been, he came in the D2 era, but he's just gotten better every year, and he's just a real steady force. So he's going to be solid in there. I think even though we have a very new team, and we have a lot of transfers and freshmen, the guys who are returning, they know what we want to be. They know who we are. They've taken their lumps these first couple years in Division One, last year in the OVC, and I think they've gained wisdom for it. They're really positive guys. They're talented, and they came in ready to lead. And I think that they can, use some of the experiences of the last couple years to make us better. So we appreciate that, getting that from them.
If that kind of blends together and comes together, what is one or two things that will be important for that group to make you title contenders at the end of the season?
I think it really, I know you used the word wisdom, and these are young competitive guys, and they want everything to happen yesterday, and that's, we love that about them. But it is going to be some patience and understanding early in the season. We have a tough non-conference schedule. We might take our lumps, and then obviously once you get in the league, you know, we feel like a lot of games are winnable if we do things right, but they're all losable. And obviously we know that we're picked to come in last place, and that makes sense. We were last place last year. So I think that when we have those tough days and when we hit those bumps in the road, we're requiring or relying on those guys to help us through it, but by just being patient and remaining even keeled and just understanding the big picture. So I think if we get that from them, and they are those types of guys, as long as we get that from them and just stay the course, we'll be okay.
Talk a little bit about your non-conference schedule and putting that together. And I don't know if like it's easy to find games when you're transitioning. Everybody wants to play, or it's hard. Like, how have you kind of that process worked, the last 2 years, and what this year's looks like?
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be a lot of people that probably think the person who made that early non-conference schedule is didn't know what he was doing, and that would be me. But we're starting out with 5 road games. We're playing the Mayor's Cup across town with UE, which obviously they're always a very good program. We have 2 NCAA tournament teams from last year, and then the other 2 teams are Belmont and Butler. So we're starting out tough. But our thing is that we have a lot of respect for our OVC rivals, and we know that they're tough. And for us, that's the hardware that we will have a crack at if we have a shot at anything. So we wanted to jump into the deep end and kind of get a feel for it and make sure we were up to the level and the speed of play, especially with so many new players when the OVC starts. So I think, again, we understand that we're probably the underdogs in all 18 of our games. We understand that, but we feel good about ourselves. Guys have come in fit and prepared. And as long as we just have the wisdom to know that there will be some bad days, and we just we use it and get on to the next. And I think our guys have a good understanding of that.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time today, and just best of luck to your team all throughout this upcoming season.
Really appreciate it. We're looking forward to the OVC season. Looking forward to it.